Rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ.
Hello, I'm Steve Ingram, and today I want to read you a story from a book. The book is Christ at the Coffee Shop, written by Nathan Ingram. And I want to read you about the $1 Million Beggar. Sir, could you spare $1 million? The request came from a man sitting on a bench at the bus stop. Shabby coat, shabby shoes, shabby hair. The only thing neat about him was his smile. I was just walking by and he picked me out. He asked the question with unabashed ease. No begging for 85 cents to catch the bus or 50 cents for a cup of coffee or a quarter for a phone call. No, sir, this man was different. He was a possibility thinker. I stopped in amazement. I had never had someone ask me for $1 million before. The concept of the begging man himself wasn't new to me. People were often asking me for money. Time spent near downtown Houston has exposed me to a fairly steady stream of humans whose sole purpose in life seems to be finding me in a crowd and telling me how poor they are and, by the way, do I have some money that they could have? I've never really known if my response to them is right or wrong. Have you ever had that dilemma? One man on the corner wears a well-worn sign that says he will work for food. Another one's banner reads, "Hungry, homeless, veteran. Please help. God bless you." The same people stand on the same street corners day after day. What do you do with these people? Do you give them money? If you do you feel right about it? Or maybe you don't give them money. Are you satisfied that you were correct? Maybe you just ignore them as I do. How does that feel? The problem of beggars on street corners has plagued me for a long time. I couldn't feel right about giving them anything, and I couldn't feel justified in not giving them something. Usually I ended up getting angry with them for being there, unwelcome and uninvited, invading my conscience. It wasn't polite of them. They needed to mind their own business, which did not include trying to make me feel guilty. Sound familiar? Now here was a beggar asking me for $1 million. I didn't know what to say. $1 million? Please? Well, at least he was polite about it. What was I to do? Jesus told a story to his followers because they were confused about how to treat other people, especially offensive people. They asked Jesus to clarify. Instead of answering the question, he told them a story. You can read it in Matthew 18. A king had a servant who owed him $10 million. The servant couldn't pay, so the king decided to sell the servant and all the servant's family. The servant fell at the king's feet and begged him for some time, saying that he would pay it all. And that's optimistic. $10 million? The king had compassion for the begging servant and forgave him the entire debt. Notice, he forgave him. He didn't put the servant on a payment plan. No 0 down and 0 interest until 32 AD. No Chapter 11 organization. None of that. When the king was finished, it was as if the servant had never owed him a penny. Wiped clean. Completely free from obligation. Forgiven. What are the chances of that happening? Perhaps 1 in 10 million? Maybe less. But it happened to me. I'm like the forgiven servant. I was in deep poverty of spirit, desperately in need of a Savior. I was in debt way over my head, at least $10 million worth, drowning in the mire of my own depravity. Jesus forgave my debt, not because he owed it to me and not even because I asked him to, although I did ask him to. He did it because he wanted to. This scraggly man, this requester of $1 million is not so different from me. We, in fact, have something in common. We're both beggars. What's the difference between begging for money and begging for forgiveness? The difference is minimal because we both need something we don't have. Do you know why the beggar asked me for $1 million? I think I do. It's because he didn't know what he really needed, so he just asked for money. I couldn't expect him to say, "Sir, could you spare some self-respect?" Or, "Sir, could you give me someone who will love me unconditionally long enough for me to make it back up?" Money was a lot easier to ask for than the things he really needed, so that's what he asked for. Should I be critical then and angry with my $1,000,000 beggar? I wonder why Jesus told that story about the king and the servant. I don't know the whole reason, but I am convinced that part of it is because he knew I would be offended at presumptuous beggars who didn't know what they needed and who asked me for the wrong things. And being so easily offended, I needed a biblical reminder that I, too, am a beggar. Two pigs in a mud puddle don't condemn each other for being dirty. If one of them gets cleaned, it's because someone pulls him out of the dirt and washes him off. He couldn't do it on his own. In the same way, if Jesus had not done what he did, I would still be dirty, so there's no room for superior attitudes here. What then am I to do with beggars? I still don't know exactly. Maybe later I'll have the whole answer, but for now I can only say that I'm to be gentle with them. If I can meet their needs, I should. Neither they nor I know what we really need, and no doubt we often ask for the wrong things. The truth is that this man and I live in two different worlds, and to all appearances we don't have much in common. It is easy for me to be angry with him because he does things I don't think he should, but remembering my true position before God helps me with that. I'm a beggar too. That's the end of our story, and I hope it has been of benefit to you. Until next time, have a great day.